The storm roared like an angry god that night as Evelyn stood at the center of Silvermist Bridge, rain slashing across her face, each drop colder than the grief inside her heart. The silver ring in her hand glistened under the flashes of lightning, the same ring Liam had placed on her finger 2 years ago, on the night he promised forever. Forever never came. The accident took him, the world forgot him, but she never could. Locals still whispered that the bridge was cursed, a place where the souls of lost lovers returned on stormy nights, seeking the warmth of promises that death could not erase. Evelyn had never believed in curses before that night, but love had turned her into a believer of impossible things. Her hair clung to her face, her breath trembled, and her eyes stared into the endless fog rising from the river below. The sound of rushing water mixed with the echo of her heartbeat as she whispered, "Liam, please come back. Just once." Thunder cracked above, shaking the bridge beneath her feet, and suddenly, the wind stilled unnaturally quiet, like the world itself was holding its breath. The fog began to shift, curling upward, forming shapes that looked almost human. Evelyn's heart pounded harder, her fingers tightening around the ring. Then, through the gray mist, she saw a faint figure walking toward her, tall, familiar, with the same slow, steady stride that had once made her feel safe. Her voice caught in her throat. "Liam." The figure didn't answer, only stopped a few steps away, the wind lifting his hair as his eyes met hers. They were the same gentle eyes she'd memorized 1,000 times, but there was something different now, a stillness, a depth that didn't belong to the living. He smiled softly, and that was enough to break her composure. Evelyn took a step forward, tears mixing with the rain, but as she moved closer, she felt the air turn cold, a chill that crawled through her bones. His smile faded, replaced by sorrow. He whispered her name, Evelyn, and though the sound of it filled her heart, it also carried the weight of a world she couldn't see. The bridge groaned beneath them, the mist thickened, and for a fleeting second, she felt like time itself had stopped trapping her between life, love, and something beyond. Evelyn could barely breathe as she reached out her trembling hand, desperate to touch him. Liam looked the same, his dark hair, his quiet strength, the curve of his smile, yet there was a faint glow to his skin, as if moonlight lived inside him. "You came back," she whispered, her voice shaking with disbelief and longing. He nodded slowly, his eyes soft yet heavy with pain. "I promised I would," he said, and even though the words were gentle, they seemed to echo from a distant place. She stepped closer, the wooden boards creaking beneath her soaked shoes, her heart screaming for one more touch. When her fingertips brushed his hand, a wave of icy fire surged through her veins, freezing her in place. Her eyes widened as visions flooded her mind, the night of the accident, the rain, the sound of his laughter turning into a scream, the blinding light, and the shattered windshield. She saw herself running to him, crying, holding his lifeless body as the ring slipped from his hand. Evelyn gasped, falling to her knees, the memories ripping through her heart like shards of glass. Liam bent down, his ghostly hand hovering inches from her face, unable to touch her but desperate to comfort her. "The bridge, it only gives me 1 hour," he said, his voice breaking as the mist swirled around them like a living thing. Evelyn shook her head violently, tears streaming down her cheeks. "No, I can't lose you again," she cried, clutching the ring to her chest. The fog began to rise higher, swirling around Liam's legs, tugging at him like invisible chains. He smiled sadly, his eyes full of love and sorrow. "Next year, same night," he whispered. The wind howled, the thunder roared, and in a blink, he was gone, swallowed by the storm. Evelyn screamed his name into the rain until her voice broke, falling against the cold wooden planks, sobbing into the emptiness. The bridge was silent again, as if nothing had happened. But when she looked down at the ring, it pulsed faintly with warmth, a heartbeat that wasn't hers. And for the first time since his death, Evelyn smiled through her tears, whispering, "I'll wait, Liam." A year passed, yet every night felt the same to Evelyn, sleepless, endless, and haunted by the whisper of a promise made on that cursed bridge. The ring never lost its glow. Sometimes, when the wind howled outside her window, she could swear she heard Liam's voice carried in it, calling her name. She spent her days researching old legends of Silvermist Bridge, learning it was once built over a river where lovers drowned to escape separation, their souls bound to return each year under the same storm that took them. Most people would have called her mad, but she didn't care. Love had turned into her only reason to breathe. On the anniversary of his death, the skies once again darkened, and thunder rolled across the valley. Evelyn packed the same ring, wore the same white coat, and walked to the bridge, this time with determination instead of despair. She knew he would come. Midnight struck, and the air began to shimmer with silver light. The mist thickened, swirling faster and faster until Liam's form appeared once more, clearer than before. His eyes softened when they found hers, but there was panic behind his smile. "Evelyn, you shouldn't have come," he said, his voice trembling. She stepped closer, her tears mixing with the rain. "You promised," she whispered, holding out the ring. He shook his head, glancing at the storm around them. "The bridge feeds on love, it binds souls who cross it with grief. I can't stay, Evelyn. Not unless," he hesitated. "Unless someone takes my place." The words stabbed through her like lightning. "No," she breathed. "There has to be another way." He reached for her hand, his fingers cold but steady. "Every year the bridge claims one. That's how I returned. I took the place of another lost soul." Evelyn's world tilted, her knees weakened, her heart thundering louder than the storm. "Then take me instead," she said suddenly, voice breaking. Liam froze, eyes wide. "Don't," he pleaded, but she smiled through tears. "You already died for me once. Let me do it for you." The bridge began to tremble as if reacting to her words. Cracks splintered beneath their feet, the mist flashing white. Liam shouted, "Evelyn, no." But she held his hand tighter, whispering, "Forever means forever." The light consumed them both. When Evelyn opened her eyes, she was lying in soft grass beneath the golden sunrise. The air was warm, the river calm, the bridge behind her glowing faintly in morning light. For a moment, she thought she had died, but then she saw Liam kneeling beside her, alive, real, and breathing. His touch was no longer cold. She gasped and threw her arms around him, sobbing into his shoulder. He held her tight, whispering her name over and over like a prayer. "How?" she asked through her tears. He smiled faintly. "You broke the curse. The bridge demanded love stronger than death, and you gave it willingly. It set us both free." She looked at him, confused but overwhelmed with joy. "We're alive," he nodded, brushing the rain from her hair. "Alive. Together." The storm was gone, the world quiet. The cursed mist had vanished, replaced by soft rays of dawn that painted everything gold. They stood at the edge of the bridge, watching the water flow peacefully below. Evelyn slipped the ring back onto her finger, and it shone brighter than ever, no longer a symbol of loss, but of survival. She turned to him and whispered, "No more waiting." He smiled, taking her hand. "No more goodbyes." Together they walked away from the bridge, hand in hand, leaving behind the haunting shadows of the past. In the distance, the wind carried a faint sound, not of sorrow, but of music, as if the souls trapped for centuries were finally free. From that day, the legend of Silvermist Bridge changed forever. It was no longer the bridge of lost lovers. It became a place where love triumphed over death, a bridge that united two worlds, proving that some promises are stronger than time itself. Moral lesson: true love is not about never losing, it's about never giving up even when the world, time, and death try to pull you apart.